how do put this across? He's the safest captain to have when it comes to scoring goals because he scores the safest goals. You know,
Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades. My name is Ksheṭij and today I'm joined by Suryansh and Anand from the Escapades family to review the FPL assets for a fateful game week 21. Welcome back, boys. It's great to be back after a couple of game weeks myself, after having missed the double game week and the last episode with FPL 𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗏. That was pretty cool to see. Anand, how are you doing, man? How's the FPL going and life in general?
Life in general is fine, except FPL for sure. FPL is a big part of my life now. But 50 all out this game week. Do not own any Liverpool or Spurs assets. So that's mostly about it. Um, my FPL team, we were talking offline as well, my FPL team really depends on how United is doing. And I have three assets. And yes, it was a bad day at the box office for United. But yeah, let's move on. And next game week, let's go again. Yeah.
Absolutely, and even I'm about to jump in the same boat as you. Going to try my luck with three United assets going forward, which we'll talk about later in a second. But yeah, meanwhile, Suryansh, welcome back to FPL Escapades game week preview. You've been doing a great job hosting the review session with Akshat and Amit. It's a pleasure. And how are you doing, man? How has your couple of game weeks been going?
cheers, man. Firstly, thanks for having me. It's been quite some time that I've been here with you guys. Thanks a lot. FPL wise, man, I've been discussing with Akshat and Amit on the review session that I was having a very good time the last 4 5 weeks. This week, come back to planet Earth. It seems 41 points with Kane and Son to play. Not very optimistic with high scores for them, but yeah, man. Um, if I cross 50, I'll be happy this week. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, at the time that we are recording, Spurs are yet to play Liverpool, and I also have Son in my team with 48 this game week, which has been a string of horrible decisions for me actually. Not getting in Cancelo, but getting Diaz instead, even though he did give a clean sheet. But what really stung me was Souček being my first sub on the bench, having him played him for the past two game weeks, and the week that I decide to bench him, he absolutely uh, runs riot. And but yeah, definitely a great, not so great game weeks in the past. Even though did myself and Suryansh, you as well, did cross the century mark. Anand, you missed by a whisker, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I got 99 last game week, but it's
Uh,
okay. Uh,
but
I don't want to be harsh on you guys, but I don't consider centuries for double game week.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
but
I got a century after using a chip which actually failed. I used my bench boost and it gave me just 4 points. So
no. But jokes apart, I was just joking. A century is a century, and it feels really nice. And missing it does feel a little bad. But 99 again, good points. Last game week, I had Justin on my bench. We've already discussed so much about it in our previews and wherever I could have. All my WhatsApp groups are flooded with I bench Justin messages. So it's in the double game week, of course. But yeah, anyway, this particular game week in game week 20, it didn't turn out well, like I said. But Kshitij, I noticed you got in Gundogan this game week. So a pretty humble guy, scoring a century and now, getting in Gundogan and still feeling disappointed about it. So
uh, I
I think
mean
that was a
that
great
No,
call.
just so that the viewers know, Kshitij, who was just whining about having bad game weeks this season, he's the person to catch in our mini league that we are having, sitting pretty on the top.
that
So
has
if
just
this
been
is
luck, man. That has just been luck. I mean, it's just that I could have been so farther ahead, but because this is the first season actually that I'm doing this good, and it's just that okay, you just need to push a little your luck a little bit further, and that is all about it. I mean, uh, Yeah, but definitely looking forward to the last match of this game week and the upcoming game week as well. For all of our viewers and listeners, please do consider subscribing to this channel and helping us grow as an upcoming YouTube channel. That really goes a long way, and it is actually free to do. So please do that. And before we jump into our weekly things, uh, no, sorry. And now we jump to our weekly dose of FPL and Suryansh. Starting off with you, uh, your team. Tell me about your team and what are your thoughts when you look at your team going the next a couple of game weeks, and your thoughts on potential transfers that you're gonna do.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you see, I'm trusting Aston Villa a lot this season. But right, I have the stats to back it up. Grealish, gave another return yesterday, losing cause, but he's been a player like Anand and I have been talking very regularly. It's very difficult to get Grealish out of the team. He won't be as explosive, but consistency is something that we've seen in Jack Grealish for the first time in football this season. Covering my defense, Cresswell, Stones, size, pretty upset with size. We'll get to that. I'll talk about that in detail. Son and Kane, yet to play. Not expecting huge numbers from them. Bamford disappointed, and I'll be reminded very politely by Amit and Akshat. Uh, I'm pretty sure in the next episode we have, because I had selected Bamford as my special pick for the game week. Sadly didn't even make 2 points. Was subbed off in the 59th minute. Um, Antonio has been, has been a blessing for my team, if I could say that. Bought him in the double game week after intense debates with Anand, but I, went with my gut, and paid off. I mean, he's been really good. Even this week, he hit the post twice. Setups, Suchek, which are very happy. Not so happy about Shitich, but uh, that's my team. And Martinez, I've always discussed here previously that I like to keep two keepers who are playing in tandem. It gets a little easier for me to and as luck would have it, both of them playing each other this week, so a call has to be made there as well. So yeah, man, this is my team. The one change that that really let me down this week was Size not playing. I mean, yes, there was I was not playing Size, but not seeing him because I knew that two games close to each other. It's very unlikely that Size, somebody he played two complete games, but then him not starting, you know, screwed up my planning a little, if you could say that. I've like you see, I've invested in defenders who are not very expensive, not very cheap. Um, Middle point, if you could, if that makes any sense, around the 5 million bracket. I have a lot of defenders in the 5 million bracket. So yeah, man, what I did was I followed my gut once again this week, and I've gone with Maddie Target instead of Roman Size. And this is after I have two free transfers left with me. After a lot of discussions with friends, I've decided on holding on one free transfer, making Target the only transfer that I'm making this week. At 4.7, for me, he's been the best GP in FPL this season. I mean, 9 clean sheets, that's amazing in its own. He's been chipping in with a couple of assists, taking long shots. So yeah, man. I mean, Matt Target, I'm expecting quite a lot from him. Let's see if he delivers or not.
Yeah, and this is, I think yours is uh, kind of the first team that I've seen in a while which does not have two Manchester City defenders. Everybody else seems to have doubled up on the City defense. But it definitely target a pretty good shout, and he's been absolutely had a banger of a double game week as well. And like you mentioned, Suryansh, he's been chipping in with the offensive FPL
He's,
points.
he's been he's been really great with Grealish, man, on the left. Both of them have been combining really well. Yes, Grealish playing on the left is a concern in terms of FPL returns, but the partnership that Grealish and Target have been forming on the left side, I've been Really excited to see both of them start against Southampton.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grealish, like you told us about how you and Anand were talking, it's very difficult to take him out from your team, and rightly so. Anand has been very vocal about it in all of our chats and WhatsApp groups as well, telling everyone not to get rid of Grealish. Anand, what are your thoughts on Suryansh's decision to take out Saiz for target?
Yeah, absolutely. It was too late for me also because I also have Thais in my team, but it was too late for all of us if we still had him in our teams. And I think Target is a decent shout, especially with Villa going to have a lot of double game weeks. They have played the least amount of matches in the Premier League in comparison to all the other teams. So that's the thing with Target. Plus he's in form as well, back to back assists, like a good plan as well. Plus, he has another transfer left. So going into game week 22, he'll have two free transfers once again. And in game week 21, just using one free transfer is pretty good enough because overall his team is in decent shape. Bamford, I think he deserves another go. He has been good. Um, Leeds uh, Leeds would have been really disappointed when they conceded the equalizer. They managed to win the game against Newcastle, but that was because of Bamford's mistake and Bielsa is like that, no
We've
nonsense
seen that in the
policy,
past.
and
Yeah, no nonsense. Absolutely.
yeah, and he just quickly substituted Bamford after that. But yeah, Bamford still deserves the go because you never know. I was also talking to Jim about it, about what does he think about Dallas and Bamford. And Jim was like they are facing Leicester, and Leicester is a far better team than Leeds. And he himself, being an ardent Leeds supporter, saying that if you don't have Bamford in your team, you don't have to get him in. So, but yeah, it's a wait and watch. Leeds, like Bielsa is a no nonsense guy. Plus, their turf, their pitch, which was really bad in the last home fixture, will be a new one. A new pitch will be laid over there, a hybrid one. So Leeds will be comfortable back again in their home. So yeah, it's a wait and see for Bamford, and not a lot of expectations, but given what he has done so far for all the FPL managers, I think he deserves another go at least. So overall, I think great picks. Uh, Sterling, in the absence of KDB, has really delivered for him. he's, he scored a free kick. I mean, I've
That
never seen Sterling do that before. So everybody in his team, you can see so many star marks over there. So that just shows that he has a really good team.
shout out to Sterling, man. We've been having this conversation a very long time, Anand. Sterling, Salah, Mane. But I've pretty proud to say that I've been true to Raheem Sterling the last two seasons with FPL. And like we were discussing, he's just 25 or 27 points of Salah in terms of the total points that he's delivered this season. Sneakily, quietly, just doing his business. Collecting points here and there. So yeah, I was about to captain him instead of Bruno the last game week. Should have paid off, but, didn't
Yeah,
happen.
even myself, Sterling to Bamford was actually a pretty straightforward. KDB to Sterling, excuse me, was a pretty straightforward move in my case last week. But thankfully, I did go for Gundogan, who ended up giving 3 points more than Sterling. And boy, he's in some form right now. But yeah, I went for Diaz instead of Cancelo and had Suchek in on my bench, like I mentioned. So yeah, basically you win some, you lose some, I guess. Did end up captaining Bruno in the last game week.
Cheers, man.
But
Like it feels like every FPL manager captain Bruno this week.
yeah, at least at least all the managers who I know did captain Bruno. And I mean, with City, I think nobody could go wrong regarding their assets. If you got Sterling, Gundogan, Diaz, Stones, or Cancelo, you did get returns. More from some, less from others, but definitely a clean sheet was there on the cards. And uh, again, Bellerin and Arsenal for the last two game weeks. Bellerin in general has been a bad FPL asset for me. He has returned like in 2 or 3 game weeks that he's been in my team, and I've run out of patience with him. I unfortunately had only one free transfer, and I did not. And it was a choice between Bellerin and Saiz. And since I think Bellerin's value might go down as might Saiz's, but I decided to jump on the same boat as Anand and go with three United assets in Maguire. Right now, this is my thought of taking out Bellerin instead of size, but some tinkering is yet to be done. But I've absolutely made up my mind that this game week I will be going for a defender of, to use my free transfer. I have a lot in my bank. I have around 8 million or 8 odd million in my bank. This team is only 95, 96. So that helps. But I mean, I want to be patient with Martial as well, given how the stick that he's receiving from fans on social media, and of course in general, United did not turn up the way Ole or us as fans
And
would want them to
just
turn up.
bringing that up, man, that's completely unacceptable for social media being used like that. Platforms like this to
Absolutely.
butcher players. I mean, that's no way, man. I mean, really
I
disappointing. Like I was reading about Tuanzebe. I mean, there's everything that every individual should be take inspiration from the lad. He came from Congo, aged 4. Settled in the country. Captain United at every level, even the senior team. And when you get treatment like that, it's just very painful to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, and does show you the dark side of football and humanity in general. I mean, if I remember the praise that Tuanzebe got when United played against PSG, and he was all
Whoa,
over
what a performance,
Mbappe.
man.
I mean, and that being compared to what is happening now is absolutely unacceptable. But I mean, you cannot control each and every human, I guess. But yeah, that is my thought going into game week 21. So yeah, I'm and Antonio, huge shout out to Antonio. What a legend! As and when I got him into my team, like he also had a baller of a double game week, and I think he might find his rhythm back and uh, maybe score like Suryansh you were mentioning a couple or three against Liverpool
Oh,
next week.
man. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
If I'm not wrong, he scored 4 last season. It's time to repeat this feat again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And now more than ever, United having dropped points in City, almost now ready to run away with it all over again. So yeah, that is my team going into it. Anand, what are your thoughts about um, this team or Maguire being a third United asset from defense? Do you think that is a good call, or do you have any other suggestions in defense for me?
See, if you're going for a United defender, then it has to be Maguire or Bissaka. But at the same time, Shaw has become really integral to the squad suddenly.
Yeah.
Sorry, एक मैसेज आ गया था वो Zoom has no limit मेरे स्क्रीन पे पॉप कर गया था.
Acha.
Okay.
So
So suddenly, Shaw has come into contention. Even in the last match against Sheffield, you usually do not see a defender being subbed off if he's not injured or not tired. But Shaw came in and instead of Telles, and you can look there as well because he's an attacking fullback and really playing well. So maybe over there, you don't need money, but then yes, I think the best picks from United in terms of defenders are Maguire and Bissaka, and then Shaw probably. But then if Shaw continues to play all the Premier League matches, which might not happen, but yes, at least 90% of the matches, then he could be a really good asset for you. But yeah, Maguire is a really great shout as well. The reason why he's a great shout is because he gets so many chances from corners and set pieces. Although he doesn't finish all of them, but yes, he did score a good goal, and sometimes you need such goals to boost the confidence of a player, and probably many more to come. And I think I can't really talk much about your team. You've been topping all the mini leagues this season, so you've
not
been doing
really,
really,
man.
really well.
Like I've said, it's
And
been more luck. FPL is the only thing that I've actually learned about FPL this season. Is it's more, way more luck than we give it credit for.
But
this
you
season,
box it,
probably
but
yeah,
you
because
box that up as skill, no, Kshitij?
yeah, I mean, this season, luck does have an effect because of all the COVID, the blanks because of COVID, and the players missing out because of COVID, and nothing being announced in the media regarding it. And if it is, then it usually happens after the deadline. So because of that, probably yes. But then again, you still have to pick good players, and
Absolutely.
Antonio, like you said, you brought in just at the right time, just like Suryansh, and delivered big time for you. Also, you have a really good bench. You have Suchek, and I can also see Thais over there. Really good bench over there. So, but yeah, overall, I mean, great team. Martial, again, you'll have to see in the coming game weeks. He's definitely a talented player. Uh, I mean, what's not happening for him is probably he's just waiting for the ball to, arrive at his feet
Yeah.
instead of, probably going for the ball. He can see a defender is coming from behind, but still he'll wait for the ball. The ball will land up in his feet. But by that time, the defender just closes him down and they just take the ball away. And he should know this by now because he's a really skillful player and nobody will give him free space. We all know about his fidget spinners and all. So that's the guy. But yeah, it's all about confidence. And again, once he starts scoring a goal or two, then he'll be back in form. A really difficult fixture for him, but as of now, I think he deserves a chance. United sitting pretty not top anymore. They are, but they're still second. So that's a really good position to be in after 20 game weeks. So I don't see why somebody should not consider United assets at this moment.
Yeah, and talking about considering United assets, I think have you already have your share of United assets in your team with Cavani, Rashford, and
Yeah,
Fernandes. So looks like a pretty baller team as well. I see size all over again. So I think that is something common with our team. So what are your
yeah.
thoughts? And I also see KDB as well on your bench. You haven't gotten rid of him yet. So what are your thoughts, man? What do you feel like doing before Game Week 21?
So regarding KDB, last time around the first international break, he got an injury, but earlier it was feared it's a long term injury, not a long term, but at least the injury would take at least around 3 to 4 weeks to heal. But he came back just after 2 weeks, so that's the thing. I'll wait for him for 2 more weeks. Uh, so City has a lot of double game weeks coming right from game week 24. So as Ben Crellin, he's the source for all this information. Ben Crellin has said that post City will probably have three double game weeks from game week 24 to 28. Between that period, they'll probably have three double game weeks. So because of that reason, and between that period, City will be playing Tottenham. They'll be playing Liverpool. They'll be playing Arsenal. So these are like really big fixtures. And also Guardiola, I've never seen him being so, just quickly coming out to the media and saying that he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Guardiola always tries to say, I don't know right now, the doctors will take a call or something like that. He usually tries and gives this answers, but these days we are seeing managers using this tactics of, fooling everybody by saying, okay, my player is out for 4 to 5 weeks and let's see on daily basis or something
No,
like
but
that.
but I'm assuming
So
I'm assuming Pep said this before Kevin's magic trip to Barcelona to his magic doctors. Pep has. I'm sure the injury comes down. He'll be back like you're saying in 2 3 weeks.
yeah, you're right. Like, they have some special injections over there. So, let's see. So I'll probably hold him for a couple of game weeks, even if he drops. I bought him for 11.6, and right now he's 11.9. So even if he drops to 11.8, it won't
Okay.
it won't mean anything to me because I'll still be able to sell him for 11.7. So I'll still wait over there. But yes, this guy size he has to go now. Enough of him, and I'll be probably getting in Robertson. I'm not 100% sure at the moment because Liverpool themselves are having a torrid time. But regarding Robertson and Salah, one thing is for sure, they will keep giving guys. You know, okay, Salah has blanked for 4 game weeks on the trot, but then against United in the FA Cup, he did score a brace. So Salah and even Robertson has been having a really good season, like the last 2 seasons. Uh, so the reason what Robertson worries me is like because Liverpool do not have the best of centre backs right now because of the injuries. They might concede goals, and so I'll be basically backing. I'll be bringing Robertson in the hope of his attacking returns. And if that's the case, then why shouldn't I just bring in Ailing or the likes of Dallas? Because that's the same scenario with Leeds. You can't think of their clean sheets. You just are bringing them because of their attacking prowess. So that's the worry. I was also thinking about getting in a Burnley defender. Even in the review section, with Suryansh, Amit, and Akshat, they talked about the importance of not me, but Ben Me in this Burnley team. So over there, I think I am considering Ben Me for that slot instead of Size. Size is going. I mean, uh, I'm gonna change my name if he still stays in my team in Gaming 21. Kilman is another player. So Wolves in the double game week 19, Wolves lost to West Brom. Uh, they just had one match, and Nuno just changed things. He dropped size. He got in Kilman, and against Chelsea, they did not concede a goal. So when things are not broken, why fix? So probably Kilman will start again in the next game week, and that is and they are playing Crystal Palace, who have been woeful of late, and so that might be an option for me because I have decent defenders on my bench. So even if Kilman doesn't start, I'll have Justin or Dallas coming up. So I just might go for Kilman over there. But yeah, Robertson, the best defender in terms of attacking prowess, with Cancelo, I think so. So yeah, Robertson is like a really is like a good option for me personally, and probably for anyone else as well. Apart from that, I've already emphasized on De Bruyne, and Smith Rowe is not a worry for me. I got him because I wanted the cheapest bench player. Although this week, uh, all the cheapies, be it Gundogan, be it Rafinha, be it Saka, be it Suchek, all of the, they're so cheap too. They're the 5.3 to 5.6. All of them scored in double digits. So over there, I was thinking maybe if I would have just spent 1 million more. But it's not just about one game week; it's a marathon, and I have to believe in my strategy because so far it has not been so wrong for me. Okay, one game week it did hurt me a little bit, but yeah, I don't intend to play my fifth midfielder because I always like playing with three strikers. Yes, you need to adapt, but I think there are a good number of strikers in the game, and so I can always have good three strikers. So that will be my strategy to have the cheapest midfielder who regularly plays. Although with the incoming of Odegaard likes that number 10 role, so maybe Smith Rowe is benched. Uh, but yes, I really don't mind that. I just need a regular playing a 4.5 midfielder. But yes, like I am also, if Bamford goes, I'll probably get in Antonio, but I'm going to wait for him. Like I was suggesting Suryash as well. I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to copy you both. But yeah, jokes apart, with Antonio, he hit the post twice in the last match. Did you
Yeah.
guys see that? I mean,
Talking about Antonio, Kshitij was saying, that it'll be good to see Antonio, going for it, really going for it. Because, little times that we've seen Antonio play at the highest level, injury free, he's been really, really good for West Ham. And we was talking amongst ourselves, me and Amit, and the importance of how Moyes wants a striker at West Ham after the departure of Sebastian Haller. And Antonio has 6 months to make that spot his own, and it shows with his performances. On the pitch, he's always energetic. Makes people around look better. And yeah, he hit the post twice. The last game gave an assist. What more can you ask from a striker? So yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
looking really good for the upcoming game
such
weeks.
a such, he Suyash, he's such a beast. Off late, it doesn't feel like anybody can dispossess him. And with the centre back pairing that Liverpool has right now, uh, good luck. I don't know. It's like a bulldozer going to be marching towards them, and I don't know what's going to happen. Kshitij and Suryansh, what do you think? Do you agree with whatever I said? Please be honest and slay me if you don't agree. Yeah.
I, for one, I'm actually really intrigued and excited by your pick of Robertson because I personally did get rid of him a couple of weeks back to get in uh, Diaz. Uh, did pay off, sort of, but yeah, definitely I'm 100% with you on the fact that Robertson is one of the best defenders when it comes to an FPL return or as an FPL asset. And yeah, like there are a lot of teams right now which we might not want to target as managers because Chelsea, for example, they played Wolves, they couldn't score in the first match under Tuchel, and Chelsea faced Burnley, who have suddenly found some kind of form when they shot three past Aston Villa last game week. So I mean, there are some teams that I would want to go towards. I think I would want to take myself back towards Timo Werner should he be given the time under the new management to play. So that is something that I'm looking at. And while we were talking about the double game week, I also had a flashback of owning Pereira from West Brom in my first game week this season, who again had a belter of a game week. But West
Scored
Brom
a
play
couple of
Fulham.
penalties, right?
Sorry?
Mm.
Yeah, there
Scored
were.
a couple of penalties, right?
Yeah, he scored in a couple of penalties, got lucky. But yeah, if you play for a team like West Brom, I mean, you need to get lucky, I think, to get scores and points in FPL. But yeah, West Brom is playing Fulham. That again is something both of the teams I'm not going to target. And when Anand, I look at your team and I look at Suryansh's as well, I think we are pretty well set up for game week 21. Uh, Again, I just have some concerns against City playing Sheffield. And I know like United had a lapse and conceded goals. City might not. They might go again with three, four, or five goals in that game. You never know. But from a defense perspective, I think Sheffield now is kind of hitting form and playing with that nothing to lose kind of a mentality and going all in, which I personally could feel from in the second half when they were playing United. United did not play very great, but Sheffield definitely looked that they wanted to step it up a notch. But yeah, when you look at the likes of Justin from Leicester and Bamford from Leeds, I think now since the season is turning, there'll be a lot of nerves. So I think patience is key. There might be a couple of players that you would want to target. Like I am now going for some expensive forwards in the upcoming game week, uh, or maybe back to KDB one if he's fit. Given that City might have a couple of game weeks, so that is my thought process. But yeah, definitely I agree with Anand on his points regarding all of the assets and being patient with them. Antonio is a good shout. Martin Odegaard is someone who we'll have to wait and watch. So a lot of waiting game, I think, for the next couple of game weeks. That is at least
You know,
my opinion.
just add Kshitij adding something to Robertson's pick of Anand's. We've seen it we've seen it this season. That teams like City, they've taken their time to get going. And now couple of game weeks, 3 4 game weeks, it's like City have arrived. It's the City that we've been accustomed to see the last 3 4 years, and I think it's to be as speaking as just a football lover and a neutral, and it's just a matter of time before Liverpool bounces back and them assists and then numbers and the goals. Like Anand's been saying, it's just 1 game week. They hit it off, and everything just is back to normal. I mean, like nothing of this happened. Not in the EPL table, of course, but in the FPL, it's matter of time before I feel Robertson's and not Trent. I have my reservations over that for obvious reasons. You don't get compared to Beckham at all. So, but on a serious note, but Robertsons and Salahs and Mane's just a matter of time before I feel, they start going all guns out again.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I couldn't agree with you more. But again, like it's now become a ritual sort of here at FPL Escapades that the last question, the most important question, Anand, I'll start with you. Who will you be captaining going into Game Week 21?
Yeah, so I'll go for Bruno until and unless I think of something else at the last moment. Right now, I'll just stick the armband to Bruno. So this is a fun fact regarding my teams this season. I've just captained three players. It's been KDB, Bruno, and Aguero. Actually, I've captained Salah as well, but captained Salah just for the first game week, and then I removed him from my team. And in game week two, I played my wild card, and after playing my wild card in game week two, I've just captained three players, and that is why I'll just put the armband back on him. I He's the best midfielder alongside KDB, creates so much, and after blanking, a lot of people will not put the captain's armband on him, and sort of probably a differential captain for game week 21. What about you, Kshitij and Suryansh? Who are you
Uh,
going to captain?
I might go with either Son or Gundogan. Both have favorable fixtures. I just that watching City play and watching Gundogan get in places and taking shots more often now that he can get into those kind of positions does make me very much tilted towards going with Gundogan. Right now, my armband is on him, but it is a battle between Gundogan and Son. Suryansh, what about you?
It's going to be Sterling for me, man. I mean, I'm going to back my gut this time. Go with Raheem Sterling, and he's won't say he's the most. How do put this across? He's the safest captain to have when it comes to scoring goals because he scores the safest goals. You know, tap ins and everything. So I don't want, just like Anu was saying, free kicks. I don't want that stress. I want my captain to give me safe goals, one goal, one assist, and that is what Sterling's been doing this season quietly. But baller of a players, and in KDB's absence, I was having this conversation with Anand again, this evening, on how how important he is for Pep. So it's time for Raz to deliver, man.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Surya, just
For a
adding
draw
one
though, for a draw though, 3-3 draw with a Sterling hat trick will do me just fine.
just adding one bit over there. So the last time KDB got injured after game week four, I got in Sterling because City were playing Leeds. So Sterling scored a goal over there. And after that match, he blanked for four consecutive game weeks. So that's the player Sterling is. I
I
mean, a
I
good
won't
player
let
for
you do
sure.
that to me, Anand. You're not getting into this hell. It's Sterling for sure. No last minute changes for me
So
this time.
it's
It's
it's not
Raheem.
about changing your decisions, but there is the other side of the coin with Sterling too. He is a really good
Absolutely,
player, but
he
the
can be the
misses
most
kind of
frustrating player. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
that's the
I
thing.
I did own him for all those four painful game weeks, Anand, and eventually had to throw him out of my team for KDB, who's thankfully returned a lot. And Suranj, to add to your point of slowly creeping up, there's another person from the Escapades family, Akshay, who's not here with us, who's been slowly creeping up the mini league leaderboard as well. And for all of our viewers, Akshay has been an integral part of the FPL Escapades family and puts in a lot of effort behind the scenes on video editing and putting post production and pushing content out. And 29th of January is his birthday, and we'd like to take this opportunity to wish Akshay a very happy birthday from all of us here at FPL Escapades. Uh, our brotherhood still continues. We have a lot to catch up on, and definitely you guys will be seeing him on the series very frequently and also in the review section. Speaking of about the review section, do check that out. We are trying to expand and bring you more content as we grow into uh, a bigger channel. Sort of for us, we started with zero and now we're here. Thank you so much for all of your support. It's been amazing. Please, as always, do like and subscribe and all those shenanigans, for not for us, not for yourself, but for the YouTube algorithm. We'd really appreciate that. All of our social links are in the description box below. Do give us a follow and do not miss any opportunity to interact with us. We love talking to you guys. And on that note, boys, I think very happy birthday to Akshay
Happy
Chicharito
birthday,
Agarwal.
Cheech. Chicha, you were an
Happy birthday,
inspiration to us.
Akshay.
Miss you here and hoping to do an episode with you soon, man.
Absolutely. And with that note, thank you to all of our listeners and supporters. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great day. And as always, may the arrows be green.
Cheers, guys.